Good afternoon, and welcome to Life Moments, your new favorite podcast. I'm Terry Beckstrom, your humble host, and today is Friday, June 8th, 2018, and we're coming to you from our world headquarters studio in Raleigh, North Carolina, where it's currently sunny and 83 degrees. Welcome to today's podcast number 7, The Pursuit of Happiness. So let's jump into today's topic, the pursuit of happiness. What is happiness? I suppose if there was ever anything subjective, that happiness would fit the bill. I can't define what a state of happiness is for you, and likewise you can't define happiness for me. We can, however, look at the research from those who claim to have found happiness and find out what they credit their happiness to. Researchers can study a large group of average humans, and for the sake of this study, reduce it to those living in the United States, and ask the group to identify as either happy or not. And you can ask them, what qualities or factors do you believe contributed to or resulted in your achievement of happiness? I wonder if they included qualifying criteria like sustained happiness. And what would be considered sustained happiness? Is that also known as perpetual happiness? Who knows? There have been many studies on happiness. And among those studies, there have been a group that have come up with a consensus of factors that they consider as evoking positive emotions. So the finished product then is positive emotions that result in satisfaction, contentment, a sense of belonging, and that you're doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and burst the bubble for some of you whose thoughts of happiness may rush immediately to wealth. You may be saying that the single most factor for happiness is simple: never to have to worry about money and to be filthy rich. Research has demonstrated over and over again that if you're waiting for wealth to drive you to happiness, that you'll likely be disappointed. In the news this very week, 2 prominent individuals who had fame and great wealth both committed suicide. Money and fame will not buy you happiness. There are enough stories to fill many thick books of people of extreme, outrageous wealth who could literally buy anything, who stated openly that they just weren't happy. Money can buy you almost everything, but one thing it definitely cannot buy is happiness. Never has been able to, never will be able to. Those are just the cold facts. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd like to be able to travel in a private jet and spend months at a time on my yacht in the south of France, having a chef prepare me meals, traveling around the globe in the finest hotels, eating the finest foods, you name it. It would be easy for us, most of us at least, to think that this is when happiness is at your peak. Listen, though, to the people who've been there. Don't take my word for it, because I certainly haven't been. And they'll tell you having lots of money can buy you a lot of things, fancy cars, big houses, great vacations, but it will not make you happy. Easier life, perhaps. Happiness, it will not. Happiness is an internal condition. It's an emotion which is expressed on the outside by smiling, laughing, bright, happy eyes, and other expressive nonverbals, which give it away. You could take a rich man, fill his pockets full of $100 bills and a credit card with no spending limit, dress him in the finest suit worth thousands of dollars, put on an expensive Rolex, pair of $2,000 Gucci shoes, put him in a $500,000 Rolls Royce, and drive him to his $10 million penthouse on the most beautiful beach, and that won't guarantee him a single smile, not to mention the emotion known as happiness. I'd submit to you that the world's richest billionaires, some of the world's richest billionaires, are some of the most miserable people on earth. And conversely, that some of the world's poorest people are some of the happiest people on earth. How? Because their happiness is not derived from money. It's pretty simple. To their lives than things. I read a study that showed that most people who win the lottery are less happy 6 months after winning the lottery than before they won. I said less happy. 6 months into winning the lottery, they're less happy than they were before winning the lottery. Many people who've won the lottery have said that it's destroyed their lives, ruined friendships, tore families apart, and left them broken, alone, and miserable. I'm sure you're thinking, I'd still like to win the lottery just to prove them wrong. Too often, though, we place our happiness on hold and make statements like this: if I only had that new car, I'd be happy. If I only had that girlfriend, I'd be happy. If I had that new house, I'd be happy. If I lived in a city different from where I live, I'd be happy. Hey, if I could go on that big vacation, if I only had that job, I'd be happy. If I had this or that, if I had him or her, if I owned this or that, if I was able to go here or there, you fill in the blank. There's something there for just about everybody. Now, science says that there's likely a genetic component to happiness, and that a small percentage lies within life circumstances, but the rest is completely up to you. Life experiences, how you see the world each day. We have the capacity to facilitate our happiness. Now, let's look at what's on my list of what I refer to as the keys to happiness. Number 1, in my opinion, spiritual well-being. Having a spiritual dimension or component. Having a relationship is critical to happiness. Knowing that there's a higher power and there's more to life than just existing. In many studies, the spiritual dimension ranks at the top for those who are truly happy and content. Find your purpose in life. Find a deep connection to people, to life, to the creator of it all. Find a connection to what's important. Find God. Number 2, develop relationships, close, fulfilling relationships. 2, that you can share your emotions with, that you can do things with, someone you can care for and who cares for you, is immensely important. Have a purpose in life. See recommendation number 1. Your purpose should not be self-gratification. It should be much more than that. Your purpose should include living a life to its fullest, experiencing the joys of friendship, love, helping others, and lots more. Number 4, and I'm going to quit with the numbers here because my list is getting a little long. Maintain control of your life. Don't let things you can't control you. How about experiencing nature? Beaches, mountains, fresh airs, flowers. The sheer beauty of one of God's sunsets or sunrise is more amazing and impressive than the most beautiful paintings from the most talented artists in history. Experience it. Experience it. Really experience it. It'll take your breath away. Listen to great music. Turn off the TV. Limit your exposure to violence. Stop watching the depressing news. I stopped watching it and I feel much better. They want you to believe every day that the sky is falling. Turn it off and you may actually find out that it's not. TV is propaganda. It's divisive. I'm talking about the news. And most TV, by the way, has got a lot of negative imagery, and it's not what it used to be. Turn off the TV. How about breathe deeply and relax? Separate your work from your life. They're not the same. Disconnect from the office when you leave. If your life is your work, then I suggest you get a new job where you can take your life back. Laugh often. You know, it was said that kids laugh on average about 400 times a day, and adults maybe down to 10 or less. How about laugh a little more? It's incredibly beneficial to our physical and mental well-being. Smile. You know, doing so releases chemicals into our body that makes us feel better, happier, and it's contagious. Listen to podcast number 2, The Power of Smiles. Have a hobby that you enjoy. Take up something new. Learn woodworking. Become an artist. Take up biking, knitting, anything you enjoy. How about learn a new language? Drink lots of clean water. Exercise daily. Boy, we could do a whole show, and perhaps we will on that alone. It improves your physical health and your mental well-being. You'll live longer. Eat healthy food. Don't overeat or allow yourself to get out of shape. And if you're there already, get into shape. You'll feel much better. Much better than you do if you're not. How about this one? Get off your smartphone. Let me say that again. Get off your smartphone. The addiction to smartphone is killing us. You know, it leads to increased stress, anxiety, sleep disturbance, and for some, isolation. You know, I'll say it one last time. Get off your smartphones. And for those of you parents out there who have kids and you're sitting around playing on your smartphone, looking up Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, while your kids sit over there looking at you, they're just learning habits. And we, as parents, earlier and earlier provide our kids with phones so that we can keep them mesmerized and electronic babysitting takes place. Well, media and games raise our kids. Put your smartphones down. Raise your kids. Spend time with your family. Have those smartphone-free zones in your house. Don't smoke. And smoking is not good for you. We know that. Limit or cut out your alcohol. Alcohol will not bring you happiness. It brings a lot more misery than it does happiness. Limit your caffeine intake. Now, try not to drink caffeinated drinks after 2 p.m. That's what most of the scientists say. Caffeine stays in your system. Its half-life is 6 or more hours. It causes jitteriness and disrupts sleep. How about practicing optimism and ditch the pessimism? Look at the glass is half full versus half empty. Develop stress coping strategies. Forgive people and let go. If you have grudges or things that someone offended you way back when, forget about it. Let it go. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't complain. Don't criticize. Don't gossip. Don't listen to those who do. Get out of the past. It's okay to learn from the past, but move on. Live in the present. Prepare for the future. Look for solutions. Anybody can find a problem. Don't brag. Don't argue. Declutter your life. Declutter your car. Declutter your office. Declutter your house. How about hanging around positive, not those who take advantage of you or bring you down? Love yourself. Love others. Read a great book. See people as people, not for the color of their skin or their background or any external factors. You know, they're people just like you, trying to survive and to have purpose, just like you. Seeing people as people, not stereotyping. It's going to change your life dramatically. Try it. Do something for someone every day. Random acts of kindness, as they're known. Not just one, do many. It'll make you feel better, and you'll help somebody else. I had the privilege the other day of helping a lady in a wheelchair get up an incline on the sidewalk. I got out of my car and helped her. And I can guarantee, although she was very appreciative, it made me feel a lot better than it did her. Helping people makes you feel better. Help somebody today. Don't expect to get thanked for it. Just do it. Hold the door for somebody. If you're walking through a door and somebody's behind you, hold the door for them. Smile, hold the door for them. Smile at people and say hello. It's okay. You know, as I walk through my neighborhood, a lot of times I pass people who are walking, and it really bothers me when I say hello to somebody and they turn their head. It's okay to smile at people and to say hi. Say thank you. Apologize if you offend somebody. Respect people. How about care for the elderly? You know, if you're lucky, someday you'll be there too. Say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, to your elders. Teach your kids to do this. This will change your kids' lives. Teach them respect in the process. Live a life of character and integrity. Never compromise this. You can't get it back. Live in peace. Loosen up. Give up anger and bitterness. It eats you from the inside. Stay calm. Live within your means. Never become too busy for friends or family. And if you're at that point, you need to probably slow down. Back it off a few notches. Gain wisdom from those who have it. Generally speaking, that's going to be people who are older than you. I love to get wisdom from the elderly. My son says he loves to talk to my mother. He's 20, she's 81, because he gets so much wisdom from her. Isn't that the way it should be? Talk to somebody who's been down the road of life, who knows where the bumps and the curves are, so that when you go around that curve or you hit that bump, you know what to expect. Be a child at heart. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to have fun. I think we're all kind of children deep inside. Our bodies change. Deep inside, though, we're all like a bunch of kids. Understand that some people will disappoint you. Not everyone will like you. And that some people are mean and just plain jerks. That's okay. Just smile and move on. Take walks, both for the exercise and the peace that it brings you. How about tell the people you love that you love them? Tell it often, or tell them often. You know, I've known people before who are now adults who've told me that their parents, or that one of their parents, never told them they love them. Isn't that sad? If you're a father and you think it's not manly to tell your kids you love them, then you got it backwards. Yeah, they can feel it. Go to visit your friends. How about bringing back the lost art of seeing friends in person, or calling them on the phone versus texting? Do things that excite you. Travel. Give advice to those who want it. But don't give advice to people who don't. How about this? Raise your kids to love God and country, to obey the law, to stand for justice, to respect people, no matter who they are, to work hard and to do their best in all they do. Spend time with your family and friends. Go back to number 2, building relationships. Take somebody to lunch. Thank the military, law enforcement, firefighters. When you see them, stand up, shake their hands, and say thank you for your service. Teach your kids to do this. Newsflash, no one makes them put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe. Be appreciative as you enjoy your freedom and your safety that someone else is paying for. And if you think for 1 second that they do it for the paltry salary that they're paid, think again. These people are paying with their lives. Respect them. Thank them. Let them know how much you appreciate them. I love to see the pictures when you see people at airports, when the military are coming on their flights with their uniform, and people stand up and applaud them. That makes you feel proud to be an American. Thank the military, law enforcement, and firefighters. Don't be afraid to work. Work hard, play hard. Love and spend time with your parents and grandparents. They're not going to be here forever. Let them know how much you appreciate them. Time with you is what they value most. Time. Be yourself, the best version of yourself. Be honest and trustworthy always. Be positive and let your positive attitude shine. Listen to podcast number 3 on positivity. Believe in yourself. Take responsibility for your actions or your inactions. Have goals and dreams. Having big dreams is okay. Don't fear the unknown. Manage your time well. Embrace simplicity. Find joy in life. Avoid conflict. And last but not least, live a life of gratitude every day. Be grateful for waking up this morning, because not everybody did. Be grateful for the air you breathe, the water you drink, the roof over your head, the food you eat, the school you attend, the job you have, the family you have, the friends you have. Do I need to go on? If you embrace a life of gratefulness, you won't have time for the negative thoughts. Because no matter who you are, you can find something to be grateful for. And let me say this too before we go, because we mentioned the tragedies that occurred this week. Suicide is not the answer. Never has been, never will be. You won't solve anything. Alcohol and drugs are not the answer. You know, overdoses killed about 65,000 people last year. A lot of them got started with painkillers. There's an opioid epidemic in this country. Drugs are not the answer. If you need help, ask for it. Don't allow yourself to keep digging in the hole of depression. Start climbing out, or find somebody to throw you a rope. They're out there. There are people that want to help you. It's going to be okay. No matter what tragedy you may be going through in your life, no matter how much whatever's occurring in your life is hurting you, how bad it makes you feel, it will be okay eventually. Get some help. Hurting yourself or somebody else is not the answer. If you need help, get it. You know, I'm grateful for you today. I'm grateful that you joined us on today's podcast. You know, we talked about a lot of things. And I hope that in your life that you find happiness. It's out there. You can find it. Take some of my suggestions today. Tell your family and friends about today's podcast and spread the good news of hope and happiness. I wish you all an amazing weekend filled with smiles, positivity, security awareness, leadership, friendship, and happiness. Until next week.